Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining Vena and I. I won't tell you who Vena is or what she does. I'll let her do that herself. Some of you may have watched some of Vena's videos, interviews that we have done. We've done some on dating and flirting, which if you haven't watched and you're in that position, you're looking to date post-divorce, for life after divorce, go watch the videos. She's got fantastic advice that I actually pass that on to people. And I will sit down and I will say to people, actually, that's exactly what Vena says. So I have it up here now, Vena.
Great.
And my name is Soila. I'm the founding editor of the divorcemagazine.co.uk. And I'm also a parenting therapist. I work very closely with families that are going through changes and transitions. And if you're a parent and you're worried about your child or your children because of something that's happened in your life as a family or in their life, do contact me at Soila at helpingchildrencope.co.uk or Soila at thedivorcemagazine.co.uk. Either one, they will get to me. So, Vena, over to you. Maybe you can tell us who you are and what you do.
It's great to be here with you again. I really enjoy speaking with you for the Divorce Magazine because divorce is one of my passions. I'm really keen on helping to change our relationship with divorce, our relationship as a society with divorce, so that we can approach it in a healthy way. So I am a relationship and erotic well-being mentor. So I focus, for me, eros and erotic pleasure is the core of any romantic relationship, whether that's dating, whether it's a marriage, any kind of romantic relationship. I think that eros is at its core. And in fact, I also think that when we look after our erotic well-being, we start to take care of all aspects of our well-being, because ultimately eros is bigger than sex. It's not just sexual. It is in fact the very life force that animates us. The whole impulse for life is erotic. So
I feel another interview coming on with at a later date about eros and erotic pleasure and all of that, and the difference and you know the role that eros plays. It would be a really good interview. So go on. Sorry.
So I'm doing a number of different things at the moment. One very exciting thing this year is that I'm one of the stars of a TV show called Sex Pod, which is on Channel 5. And it's a very down-to-earth, practical sex education show. And this is so important, not only for young people, even though the show is aimed at young people, but actually I've had lots of people in their 40s and 50s and 60s saying to me, this is really important information for us. And that kind of points to where we are at as a society, I think, with regards to sex. We don't have yet a mature conversation around it, so that even the basics people are still wondering about and they kind of fumble through their life. So you can catch that on My 5. And today we're talking about mantras because I'm working on a book and in fact on a whole range of other types of products around mantras and affirmations, because I've found both for myself but also for my clients that working with mantras, and we'll define that in a moment, but working with mantras or affirmations is a very powerful way to move through transition, such as divorce, and to start afresh. But there are lots of ways in which people can trip up on mantras. And Soila, you were mentioning before we started, you wonder whether they work and how they work. So I'm really keen to speak about that so that people can understand how they work and why they don't work sometimes.
Okay. Yeah, because just before we started, we were talking about it, and you hear about mantras a lot. So, but if I was going to ask you for mantra's definition, what would it be?
Okay, so this is my definition of mantra. A mantra is a short, precise arrangement of words that is designed to shift your state of being.
Okay.
I'm going to say that again. A mantra is a short, precise arrangement of words that is designed to shift your state of being.
Okay. And so I know we'll go a little bit. I've got so many questions running through my mind at the moment. What Can you give us an example?
Oh, sorry. Is there a weird noise? It's gone now.
Somebody calling my phone.
Oh,
sorry,
okay.
I need to
Okay.
actually just stop it. Go on. Sorry.
Well, you were going to ask.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, could you give us an example of a mantra?
Yes. So I'm going to give you. I've got a few examples to share, actually. Ones that I think that I've created specially for relationship, and particularly for relationship endings and divorce. So I think this will be particularly useful for your audience. Let's have a look. Okay, I like this one. I won't squeeze myself into a relationship. If it doesn't fit, I don't wear it.
Oh.
Okay, I'll say it again. I won't squeeze myself into a relationship. If it doesn't fit, I don't wear it. Now, there are a number of things that I want to unpack with that, to talk about how mantras can be particularly powerful. So with that one, that speaks to the sense that I think people often have when they're trapped in a marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like the space is getting smaller and smaller. I know that I experienced this, and it feels more and more uncomfortable, and it literally feels like it's become too small for you, and you are sort of dying to burst out of it so that you can breathe fully. Yeah. I know that for me, I really experienced this in the last few months of tussling with the question of whether or not to complete my marriage. Yeah. And that was a really tough, it was without question the most difficult decision I've made in my whole life, right? The decision to complete my marriage. But I remember that whole, I would say the last 2 years actually, there was this sense of being able to breathe less and less fully and being more constricted. And certainly the last Christmas before we split up, there was really that sense of not being able to breathe. And there were moments when we were with friends and so on where I felt trapped, and I almost, had that feeling of kind of sort of verging on a panic attack. Do you know what I mean? When you can't breathe. So the sense of being squeezed is something that I've brought into this mantra, because it's very visceral, right? So we can relate to it. You can feel it in your body, and this is one of the mechanisms in which mantras work. A mantra will work if you feel it land in your body.
All right, because I was going to ask you, how do you know a mantra is right for you?
Right, okay. Yeah. So the way to tell, or one way to tell, is to notice your response to it when you hear the words. Okay, so when you hear the words, if it feels like uncomfortable, or if you feel like, oh, it jars, it doesn't relate to me, then one of two things is going on. Either that mantra is not right for you and you shouldn't use it, or it's speaking a deep truth to you that's really uncomfortable, which is why you just sort of don't want to hear it, right?
And you want to avoid it.
You're trying to avoid it. So you're then going to have to figure that out for yourself. Which is it? Is it just that this is not right for me? It's not speaking to me. If it's not speaking to you, you may not have such a strong response. It might just be
words.
It's neutral, but if you do have a strong response to it, then ask yourself why that is, and to then go on to, if you realise that actually this is something that I'm avoiding and I need to address, the way to do it is to sort of relax your body and repeat the words a few times again and again to yourself, and allow them to land more gently in your mind and in your body at the same time, so that they start to resonate with you. Because mantra works on the principle of resonance. Words are a vibration, okay, and the meaning literally carries a particular vibration. So you can have something that is very uplifting. You can have something that is very clarifying. So this mantra that I said just now, I would say is a very clarifying mantra. It's like, okay, just wake up and take responsibility here, and stand up for what is true for you, and claim your space.
And it can it can work really well also for people who are dating.
That's right. For sure.
And questioning themselves about, maybe they're seeing somebody, or and they're thinking, is he the right guy for me, and whatever. That one the words, the way that you've put them together, it's like the first thought that would go through your mind is like, am I squeezing into this relationship?
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. And it is appropriate, this one, for any stage of relationship, because for a relationship to be healthy, whether that is dating or whether it's been a marriage of 40 years, whatever it is, it should feel comfortable, and it definitely shouldn't feel squeezed. Yeah. So actually, shall I share another one that maybe relates specifically to the process of divorce?
Yes, please.
Let's see. Okay, here's one. Healthy breakup. I let go of this relationship with gratitude. I take time to heal my broken heart. Okay, so there are 3 parts there. Healthy breakup. I let go of this relationship with gratitude. I take time to heal my broken heart. Now, that one, the way I've structured that, the first statement, healthy breakup, sets the tone for the whole mantra. It's the core intention, if you like, because again, intention is very important when it comes to mantras. That's what makes a difference between just a string of words and a mantra, is the power of the intention. So healthy breakup. And when you say that, if you are going through a breakup, you want to feel it move through the body. You want to feel the parts of you that are feeling wounded and are feeling resistant and maybe feeling angry. You want to feel those parts of you kind of soften and dissolve, right? So it's a very dissolving statement, that healthy breakup. And again, it's very clarifying. I mean, a lot of the mantras that I've created for divorce are clarifying because we still have this attitude as a society that divorce represents failure. I think it's important to cut right through that with a sword of clarity, to create a new playing field. So just the statement, healthy breakup, that's a powerful set of words in and of itself.
Yeah. Especially when you're going through it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And that's why I said you want to feel it move through and let the words do their magic. But, let them feel a little bit uncomfortable. Feel the discomfort and feel the pain dissolving as you move through it, and feel yourself in your core, in the core of your belly, coming into a stance of certainty and balance. Feel your feet on the ground. And I'm talking here very physically, the core of the body, your feet on the ground. And the reason for that, again, is you want to feel the mantra land in your body. You want it to shift you into a different state of being. And in order for that to happen, you need to feel it work on the level of your flesh and bones. Yeah. So one of the things I'd advise people to do is to literally stand on the ground with a mantra like this. Feel your feet on the ground, flat, with your feet flat on the ground.
Can you be seated?
You can be seated. Yeah. For this, I would suggest standing up, for the simple reason that you're then standing on your own 2 feet. Okay, so if you are going through a painful divorce and you can feel very knocked off center, as we all know, divorce does knock you off center. You want to reclaim your center. Stand on your own 2 feet. Whether you are the person who has been left or whether you are the person who's done the leaving, it doesn't matter. This is for you. It's really important. Yeah. Plant your feet on the ground, and just that statement, healthy breakup. Feel, you can just repeat that a few times, healthy breakup, and feel the words land in you. Feel them move through some of the pain. Feel them dissolve some stuff. Then the next sentence, I let go of this relationship with gratitude. This is so important, and it's a process. You're not going to get there straight away. You're going to feel angry, and you're going to feel upset, and you're going to feel like a failure. You're going to feel like you've let people down. All of the things that we know that we feel when we go through divorce. It's fine. The getting to a place of gratitude is a process. And sometimes you'll feel gratitude and the next day you're going to feel angry again. And then you can get back into the gratitude and then you're going to feel furious and listless again. It's fine. It's all fine. Mm. Something that I say a lot about divorce is that the heart does not work in a linear way. So it doesn't line up emotions one after another and move through them. It just does not work like that. It is messy, and it's fine for it to be messy.
It's up and down and backwards and up and down and round again.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's absolutely okay. But here's the key. it's fine for you to move through that roller coaster, but you don't want to get stuck on it. You don't want to be there 10 years later. And believe me, I've seen that people who are there 10 years later, you know, they divorced 10 years ago, but in their head, they're still working through that. They're still mad with their ex.
Yeah. It becomes their identity.
Sorry?
They just identify with it. It becomes part of them, part of their identity.
Exactly. Yeah. And they don't move on.
Yeah.
And this is about finding a place of gratitude is about moving on. So it's having the roller coaster, but with that sensation of moving towards a state of gratitude. And why gratitude? Because when we have gratitude for a relationship that we are leaving or that has left us, that's when we can genuinely move on and start afresh. And also it means that that relationship can become a healthy part of our life experience, and it can actually continue to feed the present moment in a very subtle way, because you're not being held back by it and you're not being hooked into it with negative emotion.
Yeah.
So shall I just go on to that, talk about the last sentence there?
Yes.
So the last sentence was, I take time to heal my broken heart. This is very much about self-love, okay? And it is so important to connect with self-love when you are going through a breakup, a significant breakup of any kind. I take time to heal my broken heart. It's okay to have a broken heart. It's okay to feel a mess. You know, it's okay to feel that sensation of just being split wide open. So take time to lick your wounds. Sort of relax, eat comfort food, hang out with your friends, you have full permission to do all the things that you need to do to look after yourself and be very gentle. Wrap yourself in a cocoon of self-love. And that's what that statement is about. I take time to heal my broken heart.
It's really a good one. And I think a lot of people find it really difficult to even think about gratitude when they're going through divorce, or even thinking about it as a new chapter in their life. And that one's finished and it's ending and what have you, but now we're moving on to the next one. And I think thinking about it, healing a broken heart, just the way you would do if you had a broken limb, you would literally sit down and heal it. You wouldn't be playing basketball and whatever, you would be healing it. Just the same way with a broken heart, you need to be able to sit down and do whatever you need to do to be able to work on it and get it better. So with mantras, so for example, using, if I decided, okay, fine, or if somebody else who's listening to the interview decided, I like that mantra, I'm going to use it. When would you, how, when? Yeah. You know what I'm asking?
Yeah, sure. So just before I answer that, I just want to pick up on something you said about, don't rush through. You've got the ending and then of the relationship and you're thinking, okay, I've got this new chapter starting. I think that it's important to have give yourself a transitional chapter. Right?
Yes.
Before you go, right, I'm going to make this new life, because that can feel too much of a pressure. So the sitting down and the healing the broken heart, like you said, as you would a broken limb, that's your transition time. And give yourself the transition time. Don't be too hard on yourself. So
I like that transition chapter idea, actually. Yeah. It's a very, very important one.
It is, and you know what? It's a very rich time.
Yes.
It's a very rich. People don't rush over it. Honestly, it's a hugely rich time. It can be an incredible time of fun, actually, if you allow it to.
Yes.
And you can make the roller coaster. You can experience the roller coaster as a time of very rich, dramatic awakening and coming home to yourself. So don't rush through it, please. Just enjoy it for what it is. And I know that for a lot of people that might sound very contradictory, but if you go into it with an intention of allowing the gifts of that passionate space to present themselves to you, you will have a totally different experience of that transition. So take care of yourself. Okay, good. So your question is about how, say someone really likes this mantra, how are they going to work with it and when? So there are two particular times of day when our brainwaves are particularly receptive to in other words, our subconscious mind is more available. And a mantra works not only on the conscious mind, so not only through the logical mind, but it's when it becomes something that you automatically repeat to yourself in the background, that's when you know that it's become part of your subconscious. The 2 times a day are when you are coming out of sleep and when you're going into sleep. So when we are in that in-between state, that's when our brainwaves have slowed down from beta, they're going down into alpha, and the subconscious mind is more awake. So one way of working with this mantra would be, as you go to sleep, when you lie down, repeat it to yourself a few times then, and just drift off into sleep. And what happens is that it will literally settle into your unconscious, and it will work into your unconscious. So it's like you will start to reprogram your beliefs, if you like. You know, when we read and hear about affirmations, we hear a lot about reprogramming beliefs. Yeah. So this is a very effective way of doing that, because you're doing it on the subconscious level, which is where our beliefs really sit. It's not really in the conscious mind, as you know.
Yeah. Okay. So just before you drift off to sleep, and when you wake up as well.
So when you wake up in the morning, it's up to you. I would say, if you feel like, especially if you're going through a very rough patch and this really resonates for you, then yes, write it down either in a notepad, a journal. If you journal, keep your journal next to you. Otherwise, just get a piece of paper or a notepad and keep it next to your bed, so that when you wake up, it's very easy for you to reach for it and read it to yourself.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can read it out loud a few times, or read it in your mind a few times. The other thing is, as you are going to work on your commute, that's a very good time to use the mental space. I mean, I know that actually, interestingly, the year I was going through my divorce, I did a lot of mantra affirmation work when I was traveling on the tube and on the bus. Because if you think about it, that's kind of, at the moment, that's sort of dead time. Yes. It's time when you might be reading, okay, but your mind might be wandering, and you might just not be using that time in any specific way. It's fantastic time to work on your mantra. So make your commute your mantra time.
So a mantra doesn't have to be said out loud?
No, you can say it in your mind.
Okay.
And in fact, yes, so you can either say it out loud or you can say it in your mind.
All right, yeah, because I was wondering, standing in the middle of a packed train going, healthy divorce.
Healthy divorce. That's hilarious. Why not? If you want to try it, go for it. No, you can say it in your mind. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that's an example of a mantra that you've given us, with a mantra, and you've given us mantra's definition. Do you have any, and when to use a mantra as well? If somebody thought to themselves, okay, I need my own mantra. If I wanted one for myself, what advice would you give them in terms of actually creating the mantra for themselves? What would they? Yeah.
Okay. So the first thing is to be clear on what the state of being is that you want to achieve. Remember, I said that a mantra is a short, precise arrangement of words that is designed to shift your state of being. So ask yourself first, okay, what is it that I want to change? What's the change that I want to see? Maybe I'm feeling angry with my ex, and I don't want to feel angry anymore. I want to feel at peace. Okay, so identify the specific change that you want to make, and then choose words that really resonate with you. This is the thing. So to make it your own voice, choose words that resonate with you.
Positive words.
Sorry, say again?
Positive words.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, if you say, I will, I don't know.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. Yeah. You don't want to... an example of a poor mantra would be, I don't want to be angry anymore.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
because that's just it's repeating where you are now, and it's repeating the sort of the thing you want to get out of. Yeah. So that's your starting point. Okay, you recognize I don't want to be angry anymore, but then you want to recognize, what do I want to be? What is the state of being I want to inhabit? So maybe I want to feel at peace with my ex. Okay, so then you think about the state of peace, but then you might want to think about specific words that invoke the state of peace for you, but really resonate for you. So you may feel, for example, that peace is a word that, yeah, it's a nice word, but it's kind of a standard word. Maybe it feels a bit religious. Maybe it feels a bit, I don't know, distant. Mm. So you might then want to think, well, what other words for peace really resonate for me? What in my kind of everyday language would I use? Do you see what I mean? Yeah. So you're starting to create the mantra from language that is already resonant for you. Yeah. And the reason for that is that will make it more powerful because it will make it feel closer to you. Do you understand?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's yours, and the way a word sounds to you might sound different for somebody else.
Completely.
Yeah. And so you pick, you have to be very precise with your intention, what it is that you want to achieve. Mm-hmm. Pick your words carefully, making sure that they have positivity in them. And if you find yourself getting, like a poor mantra, flip it over and say what it is that you would like instead. So I want to be happy and so forth.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you have to be very specific in the language that you use.
Yes, be specific in the language that you use, and the most important thing is for it to feel like it's your own and for you to believe it. Because if you don't believe it, it's not this. So one of the things you asked me was, why is it that mantras sometimes don't work? And the reason for that is very simple. It's because there is a gap between the meaning of the mantra and what you actually believe. So there's a gap between it feels like it's over there. Now the thing is that because you're wanting to create a change in your state of being. So let's go back to this example of feeling angry with your ex and you want to feel at peace. Now, at the moment, it may be really true that you do feel angry, which is why you want to create the mantra. So at the beginning, the words probably won't resonate completely. They won't feel totally comfortable with you. In your body, they won't feel comfortable with you because you're still feeling angry, and that's absolutely fine. What you do want to make sure is you're clear on your intention. You choose words that feel as natural to you as possible, so that when you think about them, and you are using your logical, reflective mind here to create them, when you think about them, they feel believable to you. It feels like, yes, that's something I would like to have. It's not here in me right now, in my physical presence, and I'm feeling angry, but I can see that that's where I would like to be, and I know that I can get there. Do you see? So there's a confidence. You don't want to feel that it's so unachievable you're never going to get there, because that will make it a pointless exercise. And so recognize that there is a gap. It sounds good. That's the question to ask. Does this sound good to me? Okay, yes. If it sounds good, then it's going to be achievable. It's going to be within your field of vibration. It might not be comfortable for you right now, but it's possible, and you can feel that it's possible. Then, do you see?
Yes. Sorry, I interrupted you. Go on.
No, that's okay. So then the next part of the process is to start working with the mantra in order to change your state of being. So at first, when you say it, it might feel you might feel the anger still bubbling up. And again, this is where I'm very keen personally on working with the body, as you know, working physically with mantra. So again, I would suggest stand up, repeat your mantra. If you're feeling tense and angry, literally shake that out of your limbs. Yeah, shake it out of your limbs. Breathe out so that you breathe out any tension, and keep doing that. Do it maybe for 5 minutes or so, and that's enough. You would have shifted yourself enough. And then the next day or later in the evening, do it again for another few minutes. And over a period of time, so if you do that for a week, you will notice that your state of being will start to change.
Okay, that was my next question. But before that one, let's say if I decided to start using a mantra today, so I create my mantra, and I decide I'm going to use it, and yes, I will stand up and say it. And how long do I give it? Do I time it? Do I say it like 5 times, or do I say 5 minutes? Or
I always say do what's comfortable for you.
Okay.
Create your own routine, your own pattern, and I do suggest for this having a set amount of time that you decide. So it may be that you repeat it 5 times. Okay. It may be that you repeat it 9 times. It may be that you repeat it for 1 minute. You set a timer. Yeah. Maybe that you do 5 minutes. Whichever you choose, stick to that. And I'll tell you why. It's a very fascinating thing that I've discovered about patterns of time. That if you repeat the same pattern, it becomes more powerful. And I haven't yet fully worked out why that is or what the mechanics are, but I know for a fact that it's true because I know this from experience and from other people's experience. There's a reason why, for example, doing something at a particular time of day every day makes it more powerful. It's something to do with, I think it's something to do with the fact that it's like the whole of our body and mind goes into a state of, okay, I know what's going on here. I know what to expect. So it becomes more automatic. And because it becomes more automatic, it flows more easily. And somehow the field of vibration becomes stronger if you pick one pattern and stick to it.
Okay. And what would the difference be between an affirmation and a mantra?
That's a really good question. I mean, in many ways, an affirmation is, you can translate the word mantra to mean affirmation, to mean an affirmation. However, mantra is a Sanskrit word, and there is a great depth to the meaning that is not there in the word affirmation, because the word affirmation is to say something in a positive way to make it a reality, to make it real. To affirm is to say, to speak something into being, as it were, to speak it as you wish it to be. Mantra has a number of different meanings, but it comes from the 2 roots. The first is man, which the full word is manas, which means mind. Okay, so it's where we get the Latin is mens. We get the word mental, mentality, mind. So man refers to the mind, and tra is triate, which means to carry over, to transport. So again, it is a vehicle, if you like, for changing the mind, and the mind in Indian philosophy refers to the entire internal state, including the heart and memory and so on.
It's not just here,
it's the whole of the internal state. So it's a vehicle for shifting the whole of our internal state, which is why I translate it as a vehicle, as shifting our state of being.
Okay.
So
and also.
So it really recognizes vibration. The word mantra really recognizes that word and sound is vibration, but it's not just the words, it's the intention, the mental part, the mind part that is underneath it. Okay.
And also, some people might think that having a mantra is a religion. There's some religious affiliation with it.
Yeah, no.
No, okay.
I mean, no. There are mantras that are religious, for sure. But mantras have been used for hundreds, if not thousands of years to acquire wealth, to bring health and prosperity, to bring good relationship, in fact, and bring all sorts of very practical things. So, don't worry about
Okay. Vena, do you have, if somebody wanted to contact you, precisely maybe to speak about mantras or wanted to get your view or so and so forth, do you have a product or how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah. So the best thing to do is to go to modernmantras.media.
Okay.
And it's a website where you can download a free PDF where I've shared some good information about mantras and how they work and how to use them, so you can use that as a refresher and also to get a bit more information. And I've also shared, I think it's 12 or 13 mantras that each relate to different aspects of life, like money and love and relationship and sex and so on. So you can it's a really great starter pack, if you like, to get you started. And it's also going to be the extract of an upcoming book. So.
Oh, brilliant!
You enjoy it.
Oh, brilliant! Thank you so much, Vena. Thank you for that. That was really interesting. And not whoever. That sounds kind of just But if you're watching this video and you want to get in touch with Vena, she's told you how to go about that. And if you can remember to subscribe to the video, to the YouTube channel of thedivorcemagazine.co.uk, and to watch Vena's other videos that are on there, because she's got a lot to say about just the whole world of love, relationships, and like I said right at the beginning, I use some of it today and I pass it on to people, you know, when they're, especially the whole flirting thing and the dating thing. I know a couple of people who are now embarking on dating, and they come home, or when I speak with them, they're like, oh, I met somebody, I really, really like them. And I'm like, don't forget to just keep dating until you find
Great.
Don't just settle, just keep dating and enjoy and have fun. And the other thing is, like, when you're going on your date, remember, it's not, that is just an event. It's not the end product, you know, just the way you. And I think mantras can work for that as well. When you're going out for a date and you tell yourself, just for it's for fun, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much, Vena, and thank you everybody for watching. And yeah, please do subscribe and make a comment at the bottom if you want. And don't forget to watch the other videos on thedivorcemagazine.co.uk or on our YouTube channel called The Divorce Magazine. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye. Thanks, Vena.
Bye.
Bye.